Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Nintendo Unleashed. This is episode 126. I think this was our longest hiatus yet.
Yay.
Our last episode was in late August, and then school kind of happened, and everything happened, life happened. But now we're finally back. We're happy to be back. We've got some interesting topics to talk about. Mostly, I just think we'll be talking about what we've been playing because it's been so long. I certainly have a lot to talk about on that front. Unfortunately, we thought we were going to have Arms with us this week, but it looks like it's just going to be me and Connor unless Arms decides to pop in halfway, which is very possible. And as for topics this week, we're going to talk a little bit about Splatfest, specifically toilet paper. We're going to talk about the end of Miiverse and Mario's current occupational status. His job security isn't looking too hot at the moment. But anyway, so we're going to start off by talking about what we've been playing. So I have a whole list to run down. I don't know if Connor has as much as me, but I'll let Connor go ahead and get started.
I don't know if I have as much. So I'll just say the usual stuff first. Say Skylands, Love Live, and Magikarp Jump. Gotta continue playing all those top tier games.
Oh yeah.
Then Pokemon Silver released during our hiatus, and I started playing that. I've been going kind of slow though, and I can't beat Morty. Yeah, Morty's his name. For some reason, I'm just my Geodude is just not good enough for him.
Mm-hmm.
So, actually, I think it's a Graveler now. No, it's one level away from evolving. So that's just grind to make it evolve. Then I don't remember how far I was last time we talked, but I've almost finished Steins Gate Zero now. I just have one more ending to get, which I just looked up on YouTube how long like a full walkthrough, and it was only like 25 minutes long, so I'll probably finish that by the time this episode goes up.
Nice.
And then I also played Danganronpa V3,
Oh, yeah.
which released pretty recently, the Tuesday before us recording this. And I've made it to trial. I've just completed trial 3, but decided I really needed to just beat Steins Gate, so I kind of put that on hold until I finish Steins Gate. But really enjoying that so far. It's better than 2, but I'm not sure how I'd stack it up against 1.
Yeah, it sounds like for a lot of people, 1 is their favorite, but for me, I've only, of course, I'll get into this in a minute, but I finally played 1. Anything else for you?
Probably like random stuff, one-offs that. Like,
any Switch stuff?
No.
I'll rip. First of all, my dog's trying to get onto my chair right now so she can lick the cheese off of this plate. I'm just going to give her the plate. Give me a second. Lowering the plate, Actually, I'm just going to give her the fork. Hold on. You like forks? Come here, Peanut. Get the fork. Bugsy, you can have the knife. There you go.
If only we had webcams so we could see you and your dogs.
Peanut, you can have the utensils. You don't need the plate, right? You can have the utensils, right? Anyway, I played a lot of games. Like I just said, I played Danganronpa V1 on PS4. Peanut, please get down. I don't know how long it took me. It certainly felt long. I enjoyed it. I don't want to go too much into story details because obviously it's a very story-heavy game, but I enjoyed the class trials a lot. I love the soundtrack. I love the characters. Luckily, my favorite did not die. And
always a worry with Danganronpa.
Yeah,
if
certainly.
Favorite will die or not.
Right. So we'll see if I get as lucky in the second game. I'll probably start that one soon. I've also played quite a bit of Fortnite Battle Royale on PS4, which is a free download. Essentially, it's basically players in a battlegrounds style game where you have 100 players dropped into an arena, last man standing wins. Sorry about all the rattling of plates on the floor there. The dogs are hard at work. So I haven't got to play with friends yet, but they just added a mode for duos. Previously, they only had solo and 4-player squads, but now that they have duos, it should be easier for me to play with a friend. I'll probably try to play with Blazekick's own Tyler soon. On the Switch side of things, I downloaded SteamWorld Dig 2, Golf Story, and Picross S. Haven't got to play Picross yet, but I'm almost done SteamWorld Dig 2. Absolutely have loved it. I was a big fan of the first game. I know some people thought it was a bit repetitive, but I'm liking the second one even more. I think it definitely benefits from having a set structure instead of being randomly generated. Certainly allows for more well thought out level design. And that's a knife, folks. Here, not sure how well that's coming through. Golf Story, I haven't played as much of, but I've definitely been enjoying Golf Story. The last time I played like the Mario Golf demo on 3DS, but the last time I've really played a golf game has been on Wii Sports, so it's really been a while. But I've been enjoying it. I definitely enjoy the RPG elements a lot as well. Great dialogue, great environments. Definitely. Oh, and there's the dog barking. Definitely some interesting, twists of what you would do with golf. For instance, this is pretty early on, so it's not really a spoiler. But there's this one part where you're investigating the hideout of these like moles, because this one guy's very annoyed with the moles. And you eventually find these two guys who are sort of controlling this army of skeletons, and they're essentially using the moles to get all the golf balls to put in the skeletons' eye sockets, because they think the golf balls are eyeballs, but it turns out they're not. But then you have to take the skeletons out, but it's raining and you're in the sand, so you can't shoot them. So you have to call the person with the concession stand, and then you stand on top of the concession stand and shoot from there. So there's certainly a lot of weird situations. It's very fun. And I think that's it. So it's definitely been a great... Oh, I guess I'll talk a little bit about Infamous too. Got that with PS Plus. I think I'm about halfway in, and I have mixed feelings on it. I think it looks great. I really enjoy the traversal. I think the combat can kind of feel unfair at times. I don't know if you can relate. Where sometimes it feels like you're just getting really overwhelmed. And obviously, some abilities, it's easy to fall back. Like you can just go to the top of a building. But I'm personally not a big fan of like attack, retreat. I'd rather... It just doesn't feel very strategic. But I love the traversal. I think the neon power is great, like the ability to run up walls and all that kind of stuff. So I've been definitely having fun with games. And I got Metal Gear Solid 5 from PlayStation Plus, so that's going to be, once I beat Infamous, that'll probably be the next thing I play, and then I'll hopefully play Danganronpa 2 soon after, so I can get 3. I've managed to avoid spoilers for 3 so far, so hopefully I can continue to do that until I play it. We'll see how that goes, though.
3 is so great.
Oh, yeah. I've heard.
It starts off so great.
I'm excited. I know there are a lot of references to modern pop culture, so looking forward to that as well.
It's also a throwback, or like references to previous games,
nice.
But like it's mostly detached. Like 2 is a direct sequel to 1, but then 3 is like, I haven't finished it yet, and I wouldn't say if I had this, but I think it's like an alt universe.
Okay. Gotcha.
And you like in the first game, there's a twist. Well, all the games have a twist, and in the first game, like,
should we talk about the first game's twist? Because do you think that's fair game?
I'm not gonna say what it is, but
okay.
Like it's revealed in chapter 5 out of 6, I think.
Yeah.
This one is like throwing hints toward, like, obviously they're hints towards the twist from the beginning of the game.
Okay.
Like very beginning.
Right.
And then it pretty much reveals what would be the twist, like after chapter 1.
Okay.
So.
And I'm just curious what you think. Is this? I'm not going to specifically say it, but I'll like talk about it ambiguously. Is the twist in 1 related to a character or the game that the students are playing?
The game.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, that was hinted at, not really from the beginning, but definitely throughout.
Yeah, it's just this one's in 3, it's a lot more obvious. Like it hasn't even been fully revealed yet, so unless they might pull a fast one on me. But yeah,
we'll see.
Anyway, characters are also way more interesting, but good. I still don't sure how it would stack up against 1.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, I'm going to go into the Nintendo downloads. Now, I'm not going to list them all for the past few weeks, just going to do this most recent week, because there have been a ton of games that have come out on Switch. in the past 2 weeks. It's been absolutely insane. And I actually want to talk a little bit about the volume of games when I'm done going through this. But first, I'm going to run down this list. Switch retail download. We have Toho Kobuto 5 Burst Battle. It's a 3D shooter. Tiny Barbarian Deluxe from Nicholas. Stardew Valley, finally, very anticipated. Axiom Verge game we originally weren't sure if it was going to come to Switch, but then they announced a Multiverse Edition. Oxenfree, which I'm very much looking forward to figuring out. It's sort of like a dialogue-based adventure game with a sci-fi theme. Earth Atlantis, classic 2D shoot 'em up we saw in, I think like there have been 2 indie spotlights. We saw this in the first one. Tumblestone, this is sort of like a puzzle game. What's weird is the Switch version is $10 cheaper than the others, but doesn't include online. So I guess it's up to you whether you think that's worth it. I don't know. It feels kind of rough, but hey, it is cheaper. So Volgar the Viking. Haven't heard. I mean, I've heard a lot of good things about this one. I'm not sure about the details. And Metal Slug X, again, a Neo Geo game. So, and that's not all. There's still stuff on 3DS. Mario & Luigi Superstar Saga Remake. Layton's Mystery Journey, Catriel, so basically, I think that's like Lady Layton, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Like, that is a lot of games.
Isn't the Yokai Watch 2 update this week, or is that, like, still off?
I think that's still off. I'm not seeing anything about it on here.
I just saw a bunch of tweets from Nintendo America about it, so I wasn't sure.
Anyway, I think I'm probably going to have to give Pick of the Week to Stardew Valley just because how much buzz I've been hearing about it. It's already #1 on the Switch eShop charts. I haven't picked it up yet, but I'm planning on it. I have some friends who are huge fans of the game. Multiplayer update is not out yet, but it sounds like that's coming early 2018, maybe like January, February, hopefully. But anyway, I just want to talk briefly about the volume of games that have come out for the Switch in the past few weeks. Sort of started with SteamWorld Dig 2, which was kind of launched by itself. But then the next week was like, here's Golf Story and Picross and like some other, I forget what else came out, but like there was a week that was really crazy, and then this week again was really crazy. Next week is busy too. And while there's been a lot of buzz around these games because A, they're great games, and B, there haven't been a lot of Switch releases up until now, so to see this volume is kind of baffling to people. But the problem with the Switch eShop that a lot of people have talked about is there are issues with sort of discoverability. Now, granted, it's improved because when the Switch first launched, the only categories were recently released and upcoming, which is not very wide. They added bestsellers, so it's gotten better. But now it's at the point where there is such a high volume of games releasing that isn't enough. We need something more. There is like a see all option, but that's kind of buried. People are saying, it should be easier to view categories and that kind of thing. Just because with all these new games coming out, if something doesn't instantly start selling really well, because stuff that's on bestsellers has great discoverability. But if something doesn't make it to bestsellers early in its launch life, it's pretty much screwed in the long run. That's been the case for a lot of games, I think. So hopefully they can get that situation implemented as soon as possible, because a lot of games have come out. A lot of games are going to continue to come out. So, Nintendo, great on you for all these releases, but get on that discoverability. So, as someone who's been using the PS4 quite a bit in the past few months, I think they certainly do a much better job there. They have tons of categories, and the categories are changing for new releases and that kind of thing. So, do you find that generally you have an easy time on PS4 finding for new stuff?
Yeah, typically, if I'm buying something, though, I'm not one to just like, oh, that looks cool and buy it. I usually am going specifically for it. So
right. No, I'm absolutely the same way.
So I'm fine, like personally fine with just the search option, where you like just search the title.
Yeah, exactly. I guess and I'm actually the same way. I think we're definitely the kind of people that do research on our games and stuff before we buy them. But I guess it's more directed towards like the casual consumer who might just be browsing, and be like, oh, what are these games? Let me look at some screenshots, that kind of thing. So it's an interesting thing to think about. Not really something that people have worried about on the Switch until now, just because of how much has been coming out. And did I say Pick of the Week? Yeah, I said Stardew Valley, but honestly, I'm just going to recommend Golf Story as well. Incredible game. And SteamWorld Dig 2. I haven't played Samus Returns yet, but SteamWorld Dig 2 is certainly scratching that itch. It's very good. If you enjoy Metroid, the gameplay loop is just so satisfying. The puzzle chambers are amazing. Really good game. Soundtrack is fantastic too. So, whew. Really good week for Switch. Really good month for Switch even. Anyway, moving on to Splatfests. There's been certainly one of the more entertaining Splatfest announcements to come out. I think just for Europe. But it was, do you hang the toilet paper sort of coming down in front or behind the roll? And what's very funny is this was sort of like something that someone had suggested on Miiverse back on Splatoon 1. It sort of became a little bit of a meme, and now it's finally reality. So certainly unique. Now people specifically have been talking about this one in the context of so few people prefer to have the toilet paper behind the roll that people are thinking Nintendo is trying to systematically destroy Marina's reputation in order to level the playing field, because it's been immediately apparent with the game that Marina is the greatly preferred off the hook member, with Pearl just getting so much hate because she looks like a baby gremlin, and rightfully so. But in the past few Splatfests, and this one in particular, people are thinking Nintendo's trying to level the playing field a bit, which I guess you got to do what you got to do, you know. I will be a Marina fan for life. You know, I would go with the Pearl one. I would go with the Truth if I were to compete in this Splatfest. But that's not what North America's getting. We're getting a Halloween one. I feel like we got a Halloween one with Splatoon 1, but I forget what it was, what the themes were.
I think there was one relating to ghosts.
I think you might be right. Was it like Ghosts versus Zombies, maybe? I don't know.
Yeah, I think it was.
Yeah. I remember we also had one which was like Pirates versus Ninjas, which was kind of Halloween, but not really. So yeah, this time it is Vampires versus Werewolves, aka Twilight. So, and vampire title belongs to Pearl, which is appropriate. She kind of looks like a vampire. Marina is werewolf. So yeah, not obviously it's not really as polarizing as the toilet paper one, but still be interesting to see how this plays out. Does this happen? Do we have a date for this yet? I didn't see any.
I don't think so.
Okay. But we do know that a new map is coming in time for this mode. So I'll probably give that a spin. Anyway, I mentioned Miiverse a few minutes ago, but very soon, Miiverse is actually going to be no more. Now, this is something we'd sort of seen some speculation around earlier in the year, where I think it was like in the Wii U code or something, in like an update file. Players had discovered something relating to shutting down of Miiverse, but now we have the official announcement. November 8th will be the final day of Miiverse. It'll close down at 4 p.m. Or rather 1 a.m. Eastern. So that's, I think, like 10 p.m. Pacific.
Yeah.
So it's about a month out, and I don't think we have a lot to say here. I mean, Miiverse was something I didn't use a ton of. I used it a lot early in the Wii U's life. I did actually use it quite a bit for help in Zombie U. That game certainly had some puzzling moments. Mostly, though, I think it will be remembered for the memes. I'll agree. Things such as Why Can't Metroid Crawl and the love story between Alan and Nicole that we all know and love.
And the water guy.
Oh yeah, Mario Wii U, who buys. First of all, it would appear from his profile that he bought every game that was made available on Wii U, at least early in its lifespan. Like, he would just post posts for every single new game, and he would comment on their water. And it wasn't even just new games. Like, I remember when Golden Sun came out on the Virtual Console, he's like, "Nice water." So yeah, certainly there's legacy to be remembered. Of course, the Miiverse stage was actually one of my favorite things as well to come out of it in Smash for Wii U. Certainly some inappropriate posts would sneak their way onto that stage from time to time, making it all the more entertaining.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm gonna miss Miiverse necessarily. What do you think?
All I really used Miiverse for after like the first couple months was using it to get 3DS screenshots onto Twitter.
Right.
But then they added the image upload function.
Right.
As well as the Sakurai Smash posts. And the Like whenever you wanted to upload Mario Kart 8 or Smash Replay to YouTube, you had to upload them to Miiverse for some reason. Every once in a while I post something, but for the most part I just stopped really using it.
Yeah. One of my fondest memories was I forget what it was, either the Pokemon XY community or the YouTube community, but I remember finding and joining a Pokemon role play comprised of probably 8-year-olds. So certainly an interesting insight into the life of a young Nintendo fan in 2013.
Yeah, I think we were in a Skype call or something when you did
Yeah.
that.
So certainly some good memories. Hopefully the memes will be preserved for all time. Not necessarily the most useful platform in the world, but certainly has a unique legacy. Anyway, moving on from the death of Miiverse, we have some interesting news about Mario. This came out a little while ago. Again, it's old news at this point, but we thought it would be fun to talk about. So there were sort of character profiles given to Mario characters on the Japanese website. Of course, they still use the old portrait art from 2006. Don't know why they just don't use the new renders. The lighting on those is terrible, but regardless, apparently Mario is no longer a plumber. As a matter of fact, he also seems to have worked as a plumber a long time ago. So this is interesting because up until this point, we were all under the impression, I think, that Mario was still a plumber. He was still at it.
Mm-hmm.
But our expectations have been totally subverted, folks. Stop the presses, because what is Mario if he's not a plumber? I mean,
stop the presses for news from like early September.
Yeah, September 4th. So this is month-old news, folks. So I don't know. I mean, it was very funny. I think there was a bit on like Fox News or something where this guy was like, "What is this like a?" Hold on, I'm gonna look this up because this guy said something that was very.
Didn't someone say like?
Oh yeah, okay. Oh, so the new show Fox and Friends blamed political correctness for Super Mario losing his plumber status. I don't think so. I don't think that's accurate, unfortunately.
What? Is it politically incorrect to have a plumber save a princess or something?
According to Fox News, I mean, hey, this is Fox News we're talking about. You were saying something about Sonic?
Didn't like the Sonic Twitter or someone else make like a joke that Sonic's no longer a hedgehog or something?
Oh, I didn't see that, but that would be pretty good, actually. So this certainly caused a bit of a stir online, as did something that we didn't talk about. Did we talk about Mario's nipples last time?
No, because
I feel like that's also very much worth addressing.
That was during the direct that happened during the hiatus. I forgot that direct had happened.
We're not going to go into detail on the directs, but I think there's one detail worth mentioning is that Mario's nipples have finally been revealed to the world. They've been present in promotional art, yes, but this is the first time they've been seen in-game, rendered in glorious HD. So.
And he also got his tattoo surgically removed.
Yeah, I think that's my favorite bit, actually. When they released like the tribal Game Boy Advance SB, Mario's pulling up his sleeve and he had this like black tribal tattoo. And like everyone was making all these memes like, oh, you know, canonically Mario still has this tattoo. But now the canon has been mixed up. The head canon is dead. Mario has no tattoo.
I hope when the game comes out they update it and he has the tattoo.
Yeah, because we know they've been making graphical tweaks. So hey, you know, or maybe. Or you know how you can buy like stickers for the outside of your ship? You could maybe buy a sticker that's just that bad, symbolize the loss of the tattoo.
I mean, they've referenced some really obscure things.
Oh yeah,
I'm sure. I think that was Nintendo Power. I'm sure a Nintendo Power ad isn't that far out of the question to reference.
Right. Yeah, there have certainly been plenty of obscure costumes, so not out of the question. Anyway, speaking of Mario Odyssey, we also learned from a recent overview video that the game will have something of an easy mode. This will have a few changes, sort of making it, one, sort of easier to find the power moons by adding these objective arrow pointers to point you in the right direction, and also making it so that falling into a pit will not instantly kill you, but will remove 1 HP. and saving you. It'll bring you back up with a bubble and just remove 1 HP. We're not certain, but presumably if you have 1 HP and you fall, it will kill you. Not sure, though. Don't have confirmation on that. There's been certainly a lot of talk of easy modes on Twitter in the past week in games. It's been an interesting debate. I'm honestly not entirely sure where I stand, but I feel like for a game like this, it's totally appropriate.
It's targeting itself for like all ages.
Right. And I think
from what we can tell, it's not the default option, considering it hasn't been shown, like we haven't seen it till now, and it was in some random Japanese overview trailer as a special mode.
Yeah, so unless they decided to add it recently, in all the gameplay from E3 and stuff, falling off pits has certainly killed you, so this is likely just an optional thing. And I think what's especially good about this is because Mario Odyssey sort of belongs to that sandbox category of Mario games, which are maybe might be a bit more challenging for younger audiences than, say, 3D World. This is good to sort of keep the barrier of entry low for people who are getting a Switch, either already have one or getting one this Christmas. So
didn't Miyamoto or someone else say the reason they made 3D Land and 3D World instead of a Galaxy-style game was because younger gamers got lost?
I think so. I don't remember directly hearing that, but it wouldn't surprise me. So this mode could sort of be their attempt to please the fans with the open world style, but also make sure younger fans don't get left behind. Which I can appreciate that approach. Hopefully, it's like easy to find in settings, or like if you die enough times, it'll be offered as an option or something like that to make it easily accessible. So
or just be like a normal game, and when you hit new game, it's like, what difficulty do you want to play on?
Hopefully that. And then you can always maybe switch it in the menu or something.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is good news, I think, as far as we're concerned. We also have some new Ultra Beast, which I think also came out of that mid-September Direct.
There were 2 in that Direct and 1 in a trailer that was uploaded this past week.
I just know one of them is like a giant block called Assemble. Maybe? Is that true?
Yeah. It's UB Assembly.
Right, and there's also lighting. Or wait, no, lighting was in the old one, right? Or in the first game? Is lighting new or is lighting in the original?
I don't remember one.
Or was it lightning? Was it lightning?
Hold on. The new ones are UB Burst, UB Assembly, and UB Adhesive. I don't know any of them called UB Lighting.
Oh, no, okay. In the original game, it was Lightning. UB03 was Lightning. For some reason, when I first read that name a while ago, I misread it as Lighting, and I'm like, that's a strange name. I just remembered it as that for some reason.
I don't really know why they use those names, because they have actual names in the game. Like, the one I think you're talking about is called Circuitry.
Yeah, I'm seeing that.
And then, like, UB01 is Nihilego. Nihilego? I forget exactly what it is. But, like, I don't know why they, like, go UB Adhesive when it's going to have a different name in game. So I don't really get the point. But anyway, UB Burst is Fire Ghost and has the move Mind Blow, which it has like a ball head and throws it and it explodes. Nice. UB Assembly is that giant rock or wall thing. It's Rock Steel. And Cerebi doesn't list any move for it. Then there's also UB Adhesive, which I think is Poison. Is Cerebi not listing it here? Oh yeah, Poison. Just pure Poison. It's kind of small and looks almost like Hoopa without the hoop and colored differently. It's a little weird. And we also got the introduction of a new team called the Ultra Recon Squad, which dwell in ultra space called Ultra Megapolis. And there are various other areas to explore in ultra space. I think we can tell Ultra Moon and Ultra Sun are very ultra. And yeah, there's I believe this is the first mid-generational Pokemon game to add new Pokemon and new moves.
Mm-hmm.
because
It certainly seems like they've been doing a good job from what I've been seeing.
those 3 are definitely not in the code for the original Sun and Moon, and I don't think the moves shown were either.
And they also released a new store. I don't know if it was a story trailer, but I know a number of new trailers came out as well, showcasing new areas. So it certainly sounds like anticipation is building.
Yeah.
Is this November? Do you remember the date for this game?
I think it's the last Friday before Black Friday.
Gotcha. See, this is arguably the, a lot of people were expecting Odyssey to be the big November release, but this is taking its place. So
there is no Switch game for the big November release.
Yeah, it's kind of strange because they're doing Odyssey and Fire Emblem right before, but Xenoblade right after. So yeah, fair enough.
It's like previous years, they've done a Wii U and a 3DS.
Yeah, Mario Tennis Open.
Link Between Worlds were saying.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, and they even launched a game like Mario Tennis Open on that big day, and that game is like nothing. So, yeah,
I mean, it's nice that they're giving us Mario
early.
Early, but it's still weird.
Right.
Why not launch Xenoblade like 2 weeks early? Does it really need the extra 2 weeks?
Xenoblade releases obligatorily must be in the first week of December. Anyway, that is it for our main topics. We're going to move on to our poll. So not even last month, 2 months ago, we asked what was the best side in the last Splatfest, which was invisibility versus flight. And it was actually a tie, right?
Yeah. 8 votes. Both got 50%. So 4 votes.
Very nice. So this week, we're also asking about Splatfest. Rather than asking about one specific Splatfest, we're asking about 2. Specifically, what is the better Splatfest? Is it Europe's toilet paper Splatfest or North America's Halloween spooky Splatfest?
Twilight.
Spookfest. Yeah, Twilight themed. Twilight themed versus bathroom themed. Anyway, let us know. That poll should be up soon. Anyway, we're gonna start to close it out. And before that, though, I just want to say, hopefully, we'll be able to be more consistent now with our schedule. Hopefully, can't say for sure just yet, but I'm optimistic.
We should probably mention. You might have noticed if you watched this the day it went up. Today is Sunday, not Saturday. Saturday used to be our upload day. We're switching to Sunday. There's a couple reasons for this, but really all you need to know is hopefully it should make more consistent because we'll have an extra day we can potentially record being Saturday. And if we do record like Friday, sometimes we were recording late Fridays, so it was kind of hard for me to edit it together and get it up for Saturday morning. But hopefully we won't be recording late Saturday very often. And we'll be able to get the episodes out, actually uploaded, actually recorded, because it's not like we have any like lost episodes we just never recorded.
And we look forward to that. As always, be sure to check us out on VidMe. You can follow us there. Or if you like to watch/listen on YouTube, be sure to subscribe to that channel. If you're watching on YouTube, be sure to leave a like. And share the video on your friends with Twitter, Facebook, wherever you do social media. Subscribe to us on iTunes and Google Play Music if you listen to our podcast there. Be sure to leave a review. If you leave a nice one, we might read it. Or a mean one. And as always, you can follow us on Twitter. I am at Dashy007.
I'm Double31.
Arms is at ArmsMXC. Hopefully he'll be back with us next week. You can find the podcast at Nin Unleashed, and BlazeKick Tweet is our site Twitter. And of course, be sure to visit blazekick.com, the original home for all things BlazeKick.